go to number 5. We know how she can score a try. See Esseltia. And we're underway here, Gareth.
Oh, that ball, again, not finding the 10 metres, and it really boils my blood, Peter. Any case.
Does that grind your gears?
Tuagata is going to take the ball, and they get a nice opportunity to take this one forward. A little bit of confusion. They are a team not hastily thrown together, but they don't play too much together. As the ball comes out wide now, looking to put on some footwork against this Aussie Pearls side, who are really biding their time, and they force the penalty there. Interesting to note that I don't think Kaslik started this one, so she might be being rested here, and here looks like trouble as they come away. Chloe Dalton, oh, she can't get around. Good pace shown in the covering tackle in the end, and now they come up with a ball, but it's going to be called a knock on there, Pete. I thought she was away for all chances and all intents and purposes.
Yeah, it looked like that, but in the end it didn't quite go the way she would have expected it to, and the fans down on this sideline would have expected it to. So 2 minutes gone here, still locked up at 0-0. Australia, though, they're about to put the ball into the scrum and go on the attack inside the 22 for the first time in this match.
So the ball comes out now, goes wide. Celsitia, oh, nice little wraparound play, creating plenty of space. The ball goes over the top, and this will be Darcy Morrison to open up the scoring here for the Australian side. Under the sticks, untouched. And that is an absolute beauty there, Pete.
Yeah, sure was. She'll be happy with that. The whole Australian team should be proud of what they've just seen there, resulting in that 5-pointer for the first time against their opposition. And she had the chance to score out wide, but then she thought, no, I'll just bring it around and make it oh so easier for my goal kicker. Here it is here. She could have scored it there, but she thought, no, I'll bring it around, and hopefully 5 will turn into 7. The kick is successful, so it's 7 points to 0 here, the Australian Pearls goals.
Well, Paige McGregor really summed it up, didn't she? She had the ball in 2 hands. The gap opened up for her. She drew, she passed, and in the end, it was an easy try.
There's Darcy Morrison on your screen now in jersey 11. So Chloe Galton to get us back underway here. The Australians leading by 7 points to 0 here at Murray Breen Oval. As the sun breaks out on a quite balmy afternoon, I'd say up around 21 degrees. It's rising by the minute, the temperature, and on the field as well for the Australian fans.
Yes, certainly are.
Oh, what a tackle that was.
Yeah, this is a great display here again by the Pearls.
There's a gap here through the middle, though. Can they pass? They do. There's a chance out wide, but the Australians go high and go low to bring them into the ground. Australia's end of halfway. Back through the middle again. Long pass. They're going backwards. Can they offload? They need to, but the Australians, great defence there. There's a penalty. This will help them get outside their own half here, Gareth.
Yes, certainly the arm goes up. And this is a good run here. Duagar coming out, coming wide as they come around, and again over the ball was the Australian side. The Pearls doing everything right here as they go quickly again. This will be trouble here.
Looks like Anderson with the football.
Yeah, Anderson gets a lovely ball on the inside. Oh, the referee almost getting in the way there. And this is a great women's fixture. And it's awesome that the women's have parity here with the men's in this tournament. It's one of the few tournaments in the world, in any sport, that has this. An inside ball, and this is going to be a try to Parker as they come around.
Yeah, she got the ball from Brooke Anderson there, I think you'll find, coming up on the replay. And Parker, again, supporting playmate, and there we go here. Look at this. There we go. It was Anderson indeed, inside the 22, and then just got a perfect ball onto the chest of Parker. And she just sprinted off and scored underneath and put the ball down underneath the post. So Australia taking an early lead. They're up by 14 points to nil on the Destination New South Wales scoreboard.
She's had a very good tournament so far, Parker. Obviously standing out in that pink headgear.
Yeah. The kick, as I said, is successful. So the Australians...
Debbie Dalton with the kick again.
Getting us back underway.
We haven't seen Kaslik this match. So, don't know if there's an injury there for the premier women's player in the world or she's just being rested. We'll get some news on that later through our sideline eye catcher. She's been doing a great job for us here all day, covering off on both sides of the draw.
And of course, you know, the Aussie Pearls, they're ready to rip into the World Series as well. So first up, though, is defending their 2015 CC7 title. It was? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Sorry to cut you off there, but Dalton, she'll go over for a try. And this game is now opening up with a minute remaining in the first half. So the class just coming through by this Aussie women's side.
Well, they're not the defending champions, the World Series champions. What else are they? The Olympic champions. They're back from a break, and they are firing with all their cylinders in prestigious order. As this is it on the replay of how it all occurred here. Just on your spot, too many errors coming up. And Australia, well, they've just been able to capitalise the errors and turn them into 5-pointers.
Yeah, certainly will.
So there's our touch view of our sideline camera showing the ball boys there doing a great job as well down on the sideline. Without them, the tournament would be a lot slower.
Well, they're having a great time, aren't they? They're certainly earning their pies and sausage rolls down there today. Out in the rain for most of the day.
Yeah.
There may be some rain coming again. And we're going to bring in Liz Entwistle into the box for the second time here today. She's going to join us for the second half action.
What's happening down the touchline, Liz?
What's happening out around the crowd? You've been around, you've been about.
I had a chance to actually catch up with a young Henry Hutchinson for a bit and talk to your Aussie 7-star. Talked a little bit to you with, you mentioned Charlotte Kaslik. Talked to her mom, Tracy, and of course talking about her brother Sam, also playing on the Australia team, and just kind of getting familiar with the grounds and the standings. Spent some time over in the Sense Rugby booth as well. They've got a great kids organization. We actually did some volunteer work with them on Wednesday night and got to go to one of their sessions up in Kincumber. It was fantastic.
I'm just looking at you, Liz. I'm a little bit worried. You've got a nice hat on, but it's the Brisbane Broncos. Now, do you know who the Brisbane Broncos are?
They're one of your rugby league teams, correct?
That's correct. Next answer. No, that's fantastic. So, yeah, you love a ball sport.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, we've spent a lot of time here on tour. We flew into Brisbane, spent time there, toured Suncorp Stadium, caught up with some of our old Stars players, some of the ladies with the Redlands team, then went to Byron Bay. So we got to see a lot of the teams in this competition play just last weekend, too. Were
you blown away with the complex as Suncorp Stadium? It's a fantastic facility.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the fact that it's a big multi-use stadium compared to where I'm from in Chicago, where it's like Soldier Field is the home of the Chicago Bears. And then we have Wrigley Field for our Cubs still in the playoff hunt here. Hoping to make it to the World Series. So a little bit of a different setup, but it's impressive and seating so many people.
Well, not really, because you wouldn't see the Australian cricket team playing at Suncorp. They play, obviously, at the Gabba, so baseball, football, kind of like cricket and rugby over here. So they do play soccer and stuff in Suncorp. As you said, multi-purpose. And here's the second half as the ball comes out wide. Looking to put some early points on the board. Oh, look at the jet shoes are there again. And she is one of the superstars of this tournament, of the women's side of the draw. Sia Salatia, she's been absolutely amazing all day.
Indeed. And that try came within the first 15 seconds, Liz, of the second half. Australia, well, looks like they may go on to crack 50 if they can keep this type of performance up.
That could be a record too, sorry, Liz. That could be a record for the women's side of the draw.
Yeah, indeed. And if we have a look at the replay here, just sprinting away and going in untouched.
Yeah, definitely a solid effort. And against this Duaga team, interestingly enough, they've got a couple girls on the field that have yet, like, this is their first rugby experiences at all. They are kind of a last-minute team into the tournament. So they pulled in a few players from some different clubs. I'd like to point out number 17 there. That's Ryan Van Nordheim. She's actually one of our players from the USA. Played a bit of footy with the San Diego Surfers in our Women's Premier League and is currently playing with James River in the D.C. area. So he's been playing with a few different teams. But, you know, this is a group of people that just love the sport and getting out and seeing what they can do. And, again, chancing their arms against the gold medalist.
Yes, that's right. The world champions, the gold medalists, and, of course, the defending champions at this Central Coast Sevens tournament. They've been the standouts for the last couple of years, and they're missing a couple of players, but they still look pretty good, pretty solid here, and they certainly are the tournament favourites again as they steal the ball here. The Aussie Pearls, the gold side, as the ball comes out wide, and again, this should be easy pickings here for mine, the early player of the tournament.
Indeed. CS Altea, she crashes over again for Australia's second try of the second half in only 3 minutes of football here. So the score, it's ticking along quite nicely here, leaving their opposition scoreless. It's 31 points to nil, and this is how 31 points was registered, with 5 points coming from this try.
That was a cracking left foot step too, mind you. She just came off the left foot, and no one was anywhere near her. She might have got a bit of grass in her mouth there, Pete.
Here's the kick, just waved away here. So there she is again.
It's always great seeing players make their marks in these tournaments. I remember being back at the Atlanta Sevens as part of our Women's Sevens World Series, and that's when your Aussie, Emma Tanagato, had a fantastic tournament. She went off for 10 tries in the matches there as part of Australia's sweep through the Women's Sevens World Series to claim that title, steal that away from New Zealand, which always has to be a bit satisfying.
Yeah, it certainly is. As we go now to go with a good chance to attack. Oh, just spilling the ball there, unlucky.
You see the referee playing kind of a long advantage there, of course, with Sevens possession being the advantage. So Australia on the attack yet again.
Oh, on the attack, all right, and call this one home as Morrison will go over again for another try. Is it going to be called back? No, it isn't. There was a bit of conjecture out there by a couple of the players.
So it's just becoming a try-scoring Finanzi here for the Australians in the second half here. That's their fourth try in the space of, 4 minutes here. So
yeah, certainly they've opened up and showing the class, showing their skill at the moment. And it's a great asset for the Central Coast Sevens that they do start their season campaign here on the Central Coast in the Kinesio Cup.
And the crowd look really into it as well there. They haven't moved all day. They love this open type of rugby and a plethora of tries throughout the last 5-6 hours. We've still got a few more hours to come, so stay with us right here on Bar TV Sports as we see the Australians here. They might get another one. They do. Perry, she's going to go over for the Aussies. Well, that looked too simple.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it was that player on the wing, the 10, Shanae Searsaltia. She is amazing today. She has been the player of all the games we've seen on the men's, the boys, the men's side of the draw and the women's side of the draw.
They're in red-hot form, Liz.
Yeah, this isn't a team that you'd want to come across tomorrow going into the quarterfinals. I know our Stars side had the challenge of taking them on in our first ever Central Coast Sevens. That was 2 years ago. We drew ourselves into a pool with Australia and New Zealand, and that was a year, of course, when we also had Canada here, had Brazil. It's been such a fantastic tournament with developing women's rugby and bringing over all these international sides. The Olympics, I think, changing things a bit, and the addition of the Sydney Sevens means that we're going to have these women's teams coming to Sydney later in 2017. So this year, more of a club presence than before. And again, it's a fantastic opportunity for some new players to put their hands up, whether it is with Aussie Development, or on all these teams like we saw Hunter before.
Yeah, certainly, and good programs popping up throughout Australia, sevens-wise. And here they go. They look to take the quick tap and get some more, get to that illustrious 50-point mark. It's the pinnacle of sevens if you get to the half century. And with a couple of minutes to go, if I were a betting man, I'd back them in, Peter.
Speaking of bidding, they're going around today in the Moonee Valley Cup. Who do you like?
The Cox
The
Plate.
Cox Plate, I should say.
Well, I'm going to go with the rain down there. I'm going to, little tip out there, Lucia Valentina.
Okay.
Trained by the great Chris Lees as the ball comes out now. Oh, and she's almost juggled it. And that is a good try in the end. And it's Parker who gets a second for the match. With the conversion to come, this will get them to 50, Liz.
Yeah, that's a big scoreline for a sevens match, and they've done really well adjusting to the conditions. I know we were watching some earlier matches, and some of the teams playing as if it weren't quite as rainy and wet as it was, and we see the teams doing well that are actually running good angles, that are using switch lines, and maybe not going as wide with the ball, given that it is a bit slippery out there.
Well, that one is waved away, so 48-0, 30 seconds remaining in the half.
You still standing behind your bet then?
That's right.
30 seconds for a try. We've seen Australia do it twice already.
I've gone the overs. I should have taken the unders. In any case, the kickoff comes. Kaslik with the first time we've seen her today. Oh, doesn't make the full 10. Almost gets there with the jump. But let's see if they can get some points on the board here. The invitational side.
Storming
Parker's gone well there and almost taken possession.
They do have a player outside wide there on the left. Nice little loop play if they can get it out wide. This Duaga team played both their earlier games up on the upper field. Lost both of their matches, but again, valuable experiences out here.
As the Australians here, Liz, look to go back onto the counter, and they're running away. Look at them go.
Wow.
An Australian side in full display right here, right now.
Darcy Morrison goes over again, and she has kept me safe, getting the score over 50.
That's why we've got Pony Boys on Bar TV Sports every Wednesday, Liz. Make sure you tune in from wherever you are across the world.
You know, we follow your Bar TV on Twitter. You know, it's a fantastic news resource and some fantastic banter there, too. So we'll keep an eye open for that.
What's your favourite thing on Bar TV Sports, Liz?
Oh, it has to be the two of you, bar none.
That's why we're in the commentary box. Ad-lib at its best there.
And Punza, too.
Well, let's get back to the action. That's the end of the game, 53-0. I'd hate to keep you two guys from flirting too much longer here up in the Bar TV party box.
Last year, Liz brought us a present,
Well,
Darren.
she did.
Do you
She
remember
bought us
that?
the T-shirts last year. I'll tell you what, I wear them all
Yes.
the time as well. As we go to the next match, which will be the Japan side versus Ozbox women.